Alrighty, we are live and welcome everyone. I see we've already got some folks. We have Dallas in the house. Let us know where you're watching us from.
Not Dallas. That's the name. I see. Sorry. Very concrete, I guess.
And let's see. Cool. Thank you everyone for joining for another episode of Tag Team Tapping. You can learn more about that at www.tagteamtapping.com, where we get at least two of us together to help folks move through different things with some different styles of tapping. So, joining me today is my friend Dr. Robert Schwarz. Bob, longtime executive director of the Association for Comprehensive Energy Psychology. That's where I first met Bob. And now setting himself
Not
free
anymore, but
from
not
that,
anymore.
has set himself free to explore new avenues, including coming on Tag Team
Yeah, tag
Tapping.
team tapping. Yeah.
Something a little different. So welcome to Tag Team Tapping, Bob.
Well, I'm happy to be here. I feel like I'm like what is it, the WWW. We're gonna do tag team wrestling. It's like, anyway, sorry.
I was just watching that. So I was at someone's house recently, and they were watching WWW and or WWE, and
Whatever it's called nowadays.
watching new ones and watching some old ones with Hulk Hogan and stuff, and it was
Well, I
interesting.
just I have a contractor that's going to do some work in my house, and his name was San Martino, and I said, any relation to Bruno San Martino? That's how far back, way before Hulk Hogan.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't watch it anymore, but
You know,
even though I'm what? I'm sorry.
I oh, I see someone from Mexico as well. Awesome, awesome. Um, all right. So in our pre-call, we didn't decide on the topic, did we?
Yeah, we're gonna do the first one first.
The
We're gonna
first
do
one.
the not giving withholding any kind of reward until the very end.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
that people feel like they can't give themselves any kind of credit, and it doesn't count. I mean, not only do you not give yourself credit, but like if you get, and if you go 50% of the way to getting something, you're not all the way, so it's like you got nothing.
Yeah.
It's all or nothing, no credit until you get there, which is incredibly. Over the years I've seen like how to demotivate anything.
Yeah.
People somehow have learned that this is a way to do things, and it
Yeah.
doesn't really work.
Yardage doesn't count until you actually score a touchdown.
Right, right, right. It doesn't count, and you shouldn't even feel good about it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
we moved the ball 30 yards down the field, but nah.
Right. I mean, and watching football, and I'm not an avid football watcher, but I do like to watch a game now and then. And people get all excited about, oh, they gained, 15 yards. And we wouldn't say, hey, 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 they didn't score.
Right,
It's no big deal. They didn't score until there's a touchdown. Don't anyone get excited.
right.
And yeah, and it can be so demoralizing and demotivating for us if it's, you know, because there's so many things that we have to put effort into over
Right,
time.
right. Especially
And
now,
even,
especially in this world, in this
yeah,
modern, it's not like you can dig a hole. Okay, I've got my hole.
yeah,
For whatever you need. Like, I don't know, there's a reason you dug a hole. Like, those kinds of things we don't do anymore. Or
yeah,
I put up a fence.
yeah. There's throughout the day, there's so many accomplishments that we could celebrate and see ourselves as a winner. Even, sometimes just get out of bed.
Yeah,
It's like, all right, I've already started with a win.
right.
There's the that video. from the admiral who
Yeah,
talks about
make your bed
making
and
your bed.
yeah.
Start with a win. I've already accomplished something today, and feeling that way. And it's also like the story of Edison, the reporter who said,
Yes.
how do you feel about having failed 1,000 times? He goes, I didn't fail 1,000 times. I found 1,000 ways that didn't work. Each one was a successful move. I moved the ball closer to the
Closer
goal line.
to move the ball closer to finding the eventual.
Yeah, yeah,
My relationship didn't work out. I'm a failure. No, you just got one step closer to figuring out who you're
yeah,
gonna really, spend, have a good relationship with.
yeah. I've had all this on-the-job training in how to have a successful relationship,
Right.
and it wasn't meant to be with that person.
No.
You know, I often talk about virtually everything we do is a win-win situation. Either it works out the way we want it to, or we learn something that'll help us get to where we want to.
Hopefully. I mean, that's an option. I mean, you can. You don't always learn because you can be so busy beating yourself up. You don't say, "What did I learn?"
Exactly. Exactly. It's potentially there if we allow it to be that.
Yes,
If
exactly.
Edison could have on any of those attempts said, I'm a failure. I'm a failure.
Right.
I'm done. That's why I
Right.
sometimes say that's why we have to learn to walk as babies. Because
Yes.
as adults, we'd give ourselves one or two attempts and then
Yeah.
say, I'm no good at this walking still.
Could you imagine the little baby going, even though I didn't step, even though I fell, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I fell over again for the thousandth time. I deep-
It's so enjoyable to meet someone who does voices too.
Oh, all the time. That's yeah. That's how we don't want to go down this path.
Yeah,
We won't get anything done.
there you go.
It,
I'm gonna restrain myself. So excellent. So there's where we're at. So everyone, go ahead and close your eyes.
or
Hey, Claudio's here.
um, or
Ciao,
maybe just
Claudio.
take a moment and think about in what way do you, or maybe that's what you're having them
Yeah,
do. Like,
that's what we're gonna
oh,
do.
okay, fine,
Yeah.
go ahead. Sorry, you're the expert. I shouldn't interrupt you. Interrupted him. Oh,
Please, Bob, hold my beer. Everybody, go ahead and close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and hold it, and let it go. Now, just breathing comfortably with your eyes closed, go ahead and feel your feet on the floor or whatever part of you is connected to something. Allow yourself to feel that connection. Allow yourself to feel centered and grounded. Allowing yourself to be right here, right now, as present as possible, so as to receive maximum benefit from our time together. And just following your breath through your body, just allow yourself to be aware of what's going on in there. Notice what you're feeling physically, and notice what you're feeling emotionally. And maybe rating yourself on a scale of 0 to 10. In this case, it's a positive scale where 10 is magnificent, awesome, fantastic. And don't judge yourself harshly if the number is lower than you'd like it to be. Just allow yourself to be aware of where it might be. Allow yourself to be curious rather than judgmental. And now drawing your attention to this concept of celebrating wins or depriving yourself of any acknowledgement, depriving yourself of any kudos for anything short of perfection. And as you think about that, just notice again what you're feeling physically, what you're feeling emotionally. Noticing what you feel, say, I'm good at acknowledging my progress. Notice on a scale of 0 to 10 how true that feels. And to the extent that it might not be a 10, allow yourself to ask, why not? Why couldn't or shouldn't I allow myself to acknowledge my attempts? Why do I dismiss that? And notice what you feel. Notice any thoughts, beliefs, or memories that might come up around that. Take a deep breath. Open your eyes. And so, Bob, you want to start us off?
Sure. So you might just think of anything that you're trying to do that you want to achieve, and think about there's where you are, and then there's where you want to get to. And you can imagine some level of measurement. And just notice how big or small the measurements are. Like if it were I don't know, does it feel like you're a mile away? And are you measuring then in half a mile or quarter of a mile? What about measuring in tens of yards? What about measuring in yards? What about measuring in feet? What about measuring in inches? There's a whole host. And so if we just start tapping and say, even though probably I don't really measure very small amounts, they don't count for me. And I only look at the big things, or I don't cut them off at all, or I just look at only the end. Only the end counts. Only halfway counts. Only a quarter way counts. Even though I don't give myself any credit or not much credit until I get really a pretty fair amount, and I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I'm not really, maybe you know where I know where I got this from. Maybe I'm not sure. But even though I don't really allow myself the pleasure of giving myself credit all along the way for every step I take, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. So we can just maybe do a little tapping. I don't, you know, not giving myself credit all the time. Somehow thinking, well, that's just too small of a thing to give myself credit for. I mean, that's just really being incredibly lazy. I mean, this doesn't really count. I mean, who am I to give myself credit for just moving a millimeter or only going 1% of the way? I should be ashamed of myself for if I were to even give myself credit for anything less than, you know, a big chunk. People didn't give me credit when I was growing up. I mean, you know, everything, you only got credit if you won. And I'm not even sure how to give myself credit sometimes for a partial win. I'm not used to that. I wonder what could I say to myself? I'm not even sure. I guess I could start thinking about little things I could do to say, "Yeah, you got this far. Good for you." Maybe I'm worried I would just get lazy and go, "Oh, thanks so much. I'll stop here. No point in going on." On the other hand, I do often get disappointed and demotivated. Sometimes I think, what's the point? Maybe that's because I don't really give myself a reward all along the way. What would happen if I gave myself some credit all along the way? Maybe take a breath, see what's come up for you.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. So everyone go ahead and close your eyes and just let that settle in and really allow yourself as you check in with how you're feeling physically and emotionally, and as well as whatever thoughts or feelings might come up, asking that question, what am I afraid would happen if I gave myself credit along the way? And there may be memories that come to mind, different thoughts, or you may just notice some physical sensation. Just allow yourself to be aware of what kind of response comes up when you ask yourself, what am I afraid would happen if I gave myself credit along the way? Go ahead and take a deep breath, open your eyes, and we'll check in the comments in a moment. But I just want to, it was a great point that you brought up, so I want to just piggyback on that. Even though I'm afraid to give myself credit along the way, I choose to love and accept myself. Even though I'm afraid to give myself credit along the way, I choose to love and honor myself. Even though I'm afraid to give myself credit along the way, some part of me is saying, yeah, it might feel nice, but there would be a cost. So I can't allow myself to do it. And even though I'm afraid to give myself credit along the way, I choose to deeply and completely love, honor, and accept myself. And maybe anyone else who's contributed to this feeling, because I choose to feel that free. All this fear of giving myself credit along the way. All this fear of acknowledging small wins. All this fear of even considering them wins. How far do I have to go before it's a win? Does it have to be the half mile? Or at least 50 yards? Even a yard is made up of inches. How many inches do I have to wait before I can celebrate? And who decided that? And where is that written down? The exact number is 2.5 yards. Anything short of that doesn't count. And I could ask 10 different people, and they'd have 10 different answers. All this old programming telling me what is sufficient in order to get some kind of kudos. When I was a kid, and I had to show my report card to my parents, what grade got me a smile? What grade got me a frown? What grade got me grounded? For some people, that's an A minus or even an A. Maybe I had to have an A plus to get any kind of credit. Maybe if there was a project to be done, my parents wouldn't give me any credit until it was finished, even if it was a week-long project. And it's really demotivating. And I have things I want to accomplish in this world, some of which might take more than 5 minutes. And if I can't feel good at all until it's finished, and finished perfectly, I'm really setting myself up for some trouble. I choose to love and appreciate those parts of me that withhold any kind of credit, believing that that's necessary. This fear that if I get any credit ahead of time, I won't bother to cross the finish line. I'll say any credit is enough. And I'm processing this. All this fear that it would demotivate me to give myself credit. I want to finish this project. I want to achieve great things. I want to make a difference. Why on earth would I stop just because I got some credit? I'm clearing this fear so that it feels safe to give myself credit in body, mind, and spirit. And take a deep breath and go inside and see what you feel and say, it's wrong to give myself credit ahead of time, or it's wrong to give myself credit along the way, however you want to word it. And just notice what might be coming up. And take a deep breath, open your eyes, and feel free to put things in the chat. Sending you positive energy, Dragon Flower. Keep tapping. Yeah. Good, Kimberly. It's good to allow that. And yes, and sometimes things don't work out. And it's like, all right, well, and sometimes things aren't going to work out. It's like, all right, well, at least I didn't feel miserable all along the way during that time. It's like, I'll give myself credit for at least allowing myself to feel good for part of that journey, even if I didn't maybe successfully get to the intended outcome. So, Bob, over to you.
Okay, so we're going to try this a little different angle. Even though there's a really good chance that when I was growing up, I was not taught the mindsets and the strategies that we're talking about to handle and build and create successful projects. There's a really good chance that my mother or father, they didn't know because nobody taught them. And they therefore didn't teach me. They didn't teach me about the idea of having a goal and working backwards from that goal. Say, well, if you want to get there, what's halfway? What's three quarters of the way? How to break things down into smaller parts. And say, why don't you go do that first? And then give me some credit for, wow, you did a really good job of breaking it down into small parts. Because that's actually a hard thing to do. And nobody ever taught you. How the heck am I supposed to know? And I'm going to choose to figure out that, I could use new models. I mean, I learned maybe other models that don't work, but I don't have to stick with them. They're just things I taught. They're outdated. So I can upgrade my skills. And also, maybe I got some ideas about perfection, like, because of how I was raised. And the only thing that counted was perfect. But again, the way you get to really high levels is by practicing and taking small steps and increasing a little bit every time. That's how you train dolphins. It's how you train horses. It's how you train husbands and wives. Only by positive reward, shaping that behavior. That's the only thing that works. Anybody that trains anybody will tell you this. So why would I think I should be any different? I should have some expectation that I should just know it. It should just happen instantly without any errors. Where did I get that from? And I can choose to let that go and give myself a break. And so I'll do that. And so I can just begin to get curious about taking the time to break things down into smaller parts, into quarters, and then maybe into each quarter into another third. So that'd be like a quarter, and then once a month, and have a goal, breaking my goals down into smaller bits. And taking the time to do that because there's no rush. Well begun is half done. Having a bit of a map. And then when I do that, I could just as easily give myself a reward there. What would I say to myself? What could I do? That would just be an honoring of what I did. Like, good for me, I did it. Would that break a rule? Would that break some loyalty to that's not how they did it in, in the old country? Or whatever that was? I can do things in new ways. I can always find ways to break things apart and then give myself credit for reaching each and every part. And where would I ever get the idea that I'm never supposed to stumble? Babies stumble. Everybody stumbles. Everybody falls. You can fall, 7 times. Just get up 8. What would be any resistance I have to doing it this way? Why would there be an objection? This is what absolutely works. I don't think anybody doesn't say this. Tony Robbins would say it. Everybody says it. Why do I think I'm the exception? Where'd I get that cockamamie idea from? And I could just choose to kind of relax into this and say, I can do it a new way. It's a lot more fun. Just relax with that. See what comes up. I would imagine people are getting all kinds of ideas, like where they got their where they got these ideas from.
Yeah.
And, you can give yourself credit for realizing that. And then you can think about, well, which one of these things do I want to change? And then you can give yourself credit for deciding that. And then you could, you know, tomorrow, the next day, change something and give yourself credit for that. I mean, not you haven't changed everything, but you've started.
Excellent. And bonus points for using the word cockamamie.
I mean, what does that even mean? I'm sure there's some bad, like inappropriate thing now that I think about it. But
um, yeah. Yeah. I'm just going to jump right in here and just piggyback on that. It's great stuff.
I like this tag team.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun.
Yes. Well, because we only come up with so many ideas on our own, but it's like, two
Yeah.
heads are better than one, as it were.
Is it?
Uh,
Is it really? Would you have?
now I'm picturing Ray Milan. If you saw, he did this terrible, terrible horror film where he had
Two
the
heads?
two heads where they attach a head. This is
Okay.
after Oscar winning actor Ray Milan for the long week. Anyhow,
Even though you made that mistake.
tap on that. Anyhow, um, even though I have all this resistance to giving myself credit, I choose to love and accept myself. Even though I have all this resistance to giving myself credit, I choose to love and honor myself. Even though I have all this resistance to giving myself credit, because I have all kinds of programming about why that would be wrong. Even though I have all this resistance to giving myself credit, I choose to deeply and completely love, honor, and accept myself, and maybe anyone else who might be involved, because I choose to feel that free. All this resistance to giving myself credit, all this resistance to giving myself credit. I mean, if I listen to these guys and start giving myself credit for every little thing, I'd have trophies and medals all over the house. And it's like all those trophies they give out, those participation awards, best trier, trying to boost self-esteem. And I may hear a lot of people complaining about that. They give too many dang awards these days. Kids have gotten weak and entitled. That's not going to be me. I am not entitled. I don't get kudos until I finish the job perfectly. If it ain't perfect, it's a failure. All this fear of failing and all this fear of succeeding. There might be a part of me that says it's the lack of credit that makes it so hard and gives me permission to quit, which keeps me safely in my comfort zone. What if what if I actually gave myself credit along the way and that motivated me to continue and I actually accomplished more? That would take me outside my comfort zone. I better stick to the old plan. No credit till it's done and done perfectly. So then I get to win in two different ways. One, I get to stay safely in my comfort zone. And two, I get to say I'm not one of those entitled brats who gets a participation award. And I'm processing all of this. All of this fear of giving myself credit. All this remaining fear that that would demotivate me. And I'd stop trying. I'd only stop trying if there was resistance to finishing. And there's something I can do about resistance. Tap, tap, tap. I can clear the blocks to finishing. So I'm allowing myself to enjoy myself along the way. And if at some point I realize I'm barking up the wrong tree, climbing the wrong ladder, that this isn't really what I want to do, that's when I'll change to something else that's more important. And I can celebrate that choice. I'm giving myself credit for any progress in body, mind, and spirit. And take a deep breath. Close your eyes, go inside, and just thinking about giving yourself credit along the way. And notice what that's feeling like. And feel free to drop a comment in the chat box of things that are coming up. What new ideas are or pathways are popping up for you, Bob?
So you said some things that stir stuff up for me. And is there anything up on the,
Nothing coming up at the moment.
okay, so let's do this a little differently yet. It isn't really about the credit. We're not talking about the credit for participation. That's people's crazy idea. So even though I've learned that I don't get credit for starting. And even though I'm scared to start, even though I'm scared to go into the unknown, because I actually don't know exactly what's going to happen. I have ideas, I have plans, but You never know. It's not totally clear. And so I'm afraid to start. And I'm afraid to make a mistake. I'm afraid to get lost. I'm afraid the whole, I'm afraid I'll, I'll be stupid. Whatever story I'll make up about myself because I just don't feel like I'm good enough. Like it could be that I used to be fit and now I'm not fit. And so I have to go back and I remember when I was fit. And whenever I start, I go like, oh my God, this is so hard because I remember that I could used to do it. Now I can't do it. And so I just say, oh, it's too much. And so I don't start for fear of failing. And as I can choose to recognize that I can just start. In improvisation, the rule is when you don't know what to do, move your body. It will become apparent. So I can choose to move into whatever the project is and give myself credit for that, and then being willing to see whatever comes up next that is unknown. I don't know. I'm a little scared to start. I don't know what's going to happen next. I might get stuck. I'm not exactly sure, and it'll be uncomfortable. I can't give myself credit for being willing to be uncomfortable, can I? Sure, I can. That's half the battle. I mean, who says you get credit for just being uncomfortable? I mean, you only get credit for succeeding. I mean, you can't get credit for being uncomfortable and then continuing along the way. I mean, I do have these crazy ideas that, you know, Rome was built in a day. The person that wrote that book, they did it instantly. The person that built that course, it just came to them all at one time. They didn't suffer at all. I shouldn't give myself any credit for suffering. I mean, you know, suffering like going on a journey, and sometimes it's hot, sometimes it's cold, sometimes you get wet. That's part of this. I can give credit for that. That's part of the adventure. I'm just supposed to get there instantly, you know, like McDonald's. You just pop up and the food is served to you. It doesn't matter that it's shitty food. I mean, you know, I could go to a fine restaurant and learn how to cook, which takes practice. I shouldn't give myself credit for that. I mean, those expectations are, you know, I didn't learn about that. I got everything instantly. But I can allow myself to really give myself credit for doing the hard stuff in small bits, going into the unknown in small ways. And there will be things that go wrong, and I will learn from that. And I can give myself credit for that too. I can choose that as well. I can choose to find something good in just about anything on my journey if I want. And that's half the secret. Just close your eyes and let yourself absorb these ideas. You could just imagine giving yourself credit for showing up on this TTT. Sticking with it. You didn't say these guys are nuts and leave.
Stick to the very end and you get a participation award. Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, so everyone just close your eyes, go inside, and just, again, thinking about giving yourself credit for the progress. And hopefully that feels a lot more comfortable. And, as with anything, when we're tapping, it's like peeling layers of the onion, and we get more and more aware of things. And you know, you may have ideas about why you stop yourself. You may have memories of interactions where you were told not to give yourself credit, or just how it never was. So allowing yourself then to lather, rinse, repeat as necessary, and go in and say, even though I this thing happened, even though whatever that might have been, and just keep, you know, noticing on a scale of 0 to 10 how strong any of those memories might be. If you think about, okay, that time that I played a great game, but the team didn't win, and so my dad was angry at me, and or I worked on this book report, and I put in all this effort, but I didn't get an A+, and so I wasn't given any credit, or I didn't get any credit, if it was over a matter of days, and I showed my parents, look at what I did today. It's like, show it to me when it's finished. It doesn't count until it's finished. And just any of those kind of things. And just notice on a scale of 0 to 10 how strong any of those memories might be. And just tap through it and recognize that you're not defined by that. And that was someone who is, as Bob said earlier, that's what they had learned. And it's not effective, but they were doing the best they could, and setting yourself free and allowing yourself to, be able at the end of the day, look at what you've done at the end of the day and go, all right, I got done what I got done. Um, so I'm going to do one quick round here, and then uh, I just close out with a guided imagery. So we'll do that. But just want to do a really quick round here. Even though it's never enough, choose to love and accept myself. Even though it's never enough, I choose to love and honor myself. Even though it's never enough, no matter what I do, it feels like it's not enough. And even though I have that feeling, I choose to deeply and completely love and accept myself. All this feeling that it's never enough. All this feeling that it's never enough. And at the end of every day, maybe I beat myself up. Well, came up short again, even though I did all that I could. Even on those days where I only sat and watched TV. For whatever reason, that was what I could do that day. I don't intend to make a habit of that. I choose to get clear on why that's all I could do. What is stopping me from doing more? But beating myself up for not doing enough drains my energy. And even if it does seem to motivate me, how good do I feel about the actions? I crossed the finish line but was miserable the entire time. How much of a win is that? All this feeling that it's never enough. As the old saying goes, there is no failure, there's only feedback. So when I get to the end of my day, what I did was enough. And there may be more feedback than what I would call success, but I can use that to be more successful. I choose to love and appreciate myself, no matter what I achieve or fail to achieve. I choose to love myself unconditionally. Whatever I get done, I am enough. I'm loving myself unconditionally. And I might just find that even more motivating in body, mind, and spirit. And take a deep breath. All right, we're right about the top of the hour, so the guided imagery will go over the hour. Bob, are you going to stick around, or do you have someplace to go?
I'm gonna probably have someplace to go, but I'll stick around as long as I can.
All right. Well, then, while you're here, hey everyone, let's give a big thank you to Dr. Robert Schwartz for joining us and adding his expertise. Oh, and pull this up real quick. I just want to make sure I've got the right name for this. Bob has a new program called
Transforming trauma and limiting beliefs with EFT. It's going to be coming out in uh, late September, early October.
and I'll have the link here when it's ready. Yeah, transforming trauma and limiting beliefs with EFT tapping. Learn how to deepen your presence and practice like a master. Uh, I know it's going to be an awesome program. So be
And it's
watching
not
for
like
that.
I've been having to like give myself credit all along the way for all the things I have to do to make this happen. That has nothing to do with why maybe I brought this up. I'm sure that's just a coincidence.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Complete coincidence.
How to give yourself credit like a master. So, yeah, we will definitely have the I will have the link in the notes down below as soon as those are ready.
For
So,
coming up against roadblocks and failures as you're building it. Oh, I didn't think of that.
yeah.
That doesn't have anything to do with this. Definitely not. Definitely not.
And now as it's being released, that thought of, oh, I totally as as George uh
Costanza? Oh, different George.
which now I'm totally blanking on his name. Star Wars. George
Luke?
Lucas
George Lucas.
said a film is never finished. There's just a point at which you put it in the can.
Right.
Same with the program.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, again, thanks for joining me for this, Bob. And so now, folks, if you have, we're at the top of the hour. If you have to go someplace, this video will be here if you want to come back and do the guided imagery. And if you have a few more minutes to hang out with us, then go ahead and get yourself comfortable. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and hold it. and let it go. Another deep breath in and hold it. And let it go. A third deep breath in and hold it. And let it go. Now just breathing comfortably with your eyes closed. Breathing comfortably, and just imagine that with each breath you take in, you breathe in relaxation and positive energy. Go ahead and imagine the healing light of whatever color you like surrounding your body, so that with each breath you take in, your lungs comfortably draw in that healing light, allowing it to flow through every muscle, nerve, fiber, tissue, cell, and atom of your body. Imagine a healing shower flowing down, crystal clear water that's a perfect temperature as it flows over the top of your head, soothing and relaxing your scalp, washing away fear, doubt, anxiety, washing away anger, sadness, guilt, shame, washing away pain, frustration, disappointment, embarrassment, washing these away to reveal the light that you truly are, this unique expression of divine light and love, allowing more and more of that light to be revealed as that healing shower flows over your forehead, relaxing the muscles in your face, flowing down over the back of your head, your neck, your shoulders, washing away tension, leaving your shoulders calm, comfortable, and relaxed. That healing shower flowing down your arms, all the way down over your fingertips, down over your chest and your stomach, soothing and relaxing, healing and cleansing, and allowing yourself to remain comfortably in whatever position you choose. Allow that healing shower to flow down over your upper and lower back. And as your torso relaxes, your internal organs comfortably do whatever they need to do to achieve and maintain your optimal level of health and well-being in body, mind, and spirit. As that healing shower continues down over your body, down over your hips and your thighs, over your knees, down your lower legs, through your ankles, into your feet. And finally, that relaxation flows over your toes as you allow yourself to relax twice as much, going at least twice as deep with each number as I count backwards: 5, drifting down to 4, floating down to 3, 2, 1, and 0 is deep sleep. Deeper, deeper. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0 is deep sleep. And in this calm, comfortable state of mind and body, go ahead and imagine yourself in some really beautiful place. Some place where you allow yourself to be present to the beauty, the magnificence, the abundance of creation. Remembering that it is here for you as much as anyone else. And you might look around and look at something that you'd like to see a little bit closer. Maybe you're in a garden, you want to go and check out a particular flower, or maybe you're at the beach and you want to go down to the water's edge, whatever it might be. And just notice the distance that it might be. And take one step. And just pause for a moment. And just allow yourself to be aware of how you feel about taking that one step. Notice there's a part of you that says, yes, I am one step closer to what I want. Or is there a part of you that dismisses it and says, a step, that's not any big deal? There's an old saying that the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. So each step is important. Each step is valuable. You can only cross that entire distance with each step. So giving yourself permission to acknowledge that step and allow yourself to be aware that feeling good about taking that step probably doesn't tell you, well, I feel so good about taking that one step that now I don't want to go to the water's edge. Now I don't want to go see that flower. Just allow yourself to release any ideas like that. In fact, you might feel even more excited, even more motivated. I'm one step closer. I feel great about that. And sometimes in life, we find ourselves taking a step sideways or sometimes even going a step backwards. And you might find yourself then getting angry with yourself and allowing yourself to let a loving light just wash over you and release that and allow yourself to get curious instead of judgmental and ask yourself, isn't that interesting? Why did I do that? Remembering that self sabotage is simply misguided self love. So if stepping sideways or backwards seems to sabotage your forward movement towards your goal, allowing yourself to get curious about how that is an act of self love. Why was I afraid to move forward again? And you can even celebrate that then, because that insight, learning what might be stopping you, learning where the resistance might be, makes it easier to move forward now. So you might find yourself being able to reach your goal even faster now because this temporary setback was an opportunity to learn what might be slowing you down. So that's something to celebrate as well. Just allowing yourself to feel good with about any forward movement, even if the forward movement is just having an insight that will set you up for more forward movement. Learning something is success. So giving yourself permission to feel really good about where you're at right now, because part of you says this is where you need to be based on old programming. So if where you are right now isn't where you think you should be, allowing yourself to get curious about where there might be resistance, why you might stop yourself from moving forward, allowing yourself to learn and feel good about those insights and the freedom that that's going to bring. Wherever you are on your journey, allow yourself to love yourself right here and right now. Again, letting healing light wash over you, melting away, clearing away any old reasons why you couldn't or shouldn't love yourself. Giving yourself permission to love yourself every step of the way. Allow the journey to be that much more wonderful. And allowing yourself to love yourself more and more. Let's go deeper and deeper now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And 0 is deep sleep. In a moment, I'll count you back out from 0 up to 5. 5 will be wide awake, alert, focused, and energetic, feeling much better than before, feeling much more loving toward yourself, giving yourself much more permission to acknowledge the steps you take, even when they're just incremental, even when it's just some insight or some knowledge that's going to help you move forward, even if you haven't necessarily gained any actual ground in an objective way. And really allowing yourself to love yourself along the way. Tonight, when you choose to go to sleep, don't be surprised when you fall asleep quickly, soundly, deeply, and sleep very well through the night. During the night, you'll dream. The more you dream, the stronger you become. I'm going to ask your unconscious mind to allow at least one of your dreams to be a very healing dream. Continuing this healing process in body, mind, and spirit so that in the morning, at the time you've chosen to wake up, you wake up easily, feeling refreshed, energetic, and ready to start the day again, powerfully moving forward into an ever more joyful experience of an ever greater abundance of health, wealth, happiness, and love, which are your birthright and which benefit others. And now go back down to zero, which is always deep sleep, allowing your mind, body, and spirit to digest all these positive thoughts and images, taking them in at a very deep level, so that these positive changes occur easily, effortlessly, and naturally. Come up to one, feeling physically relaxed. Two, feeling emotionally calm and confident. Three, health and well being, enthusiasm, love, joy, and gratitude flowing through every muscle, nerve, fiber, tissue, cell, and atom of your body. Four, becoming more and more alert and aware of your surroundings. And five is eyes open, wide awake. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, eyes open, wide awake. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, eyes open, wide awake, and welcome back. And thank you very much for joining me for this. Uh, Definitely enjoyed doing these. It's fun having these tag team tappings, getting to work with one of my friends. And also, just being here with you guys live is awesome. You know, having people around the world tapping together makes a huge difference for the planet. So thank you so much for participating in that. Your presence is felt and it makes a difference. So got another tag team tapping coming up next week with another of the EFT founding masters, my friend Tanya Prince. And coming up in just 2 weeks is my 5-day challenge, the next 5-day challenge. So that's the Tap into Gratitude challenge. Uh, that's I'm gonna put that in the chat box. The tapwithbrad.com/gratitude. 5 days of enhancing feelings of gratitude because yeah, 5 days of enhancing your speech process. An attitude of gratitude is so powerful. So imagine what 5 days of tapping into gratitude will do for you. So hope you'll join me for that. Sign up for that. That's free. And cool. All right, you guys. Love you guys. Thanks for joining me. You have an awesome rest of your day, and we'll tap again soon. Take care.